Why does Islam allow a man to have sex with their slave women? That one I did not expect to come from you guys. This is stating it. This is coming from something very beautiful, from a very ugly position. This is something, everything in Islam is good for everybody. So it will be good for the men, it will be good for the women. It'll be good for the master, it will be good for the slave, if Islam is followed. So when you ask a question like this is saying it in a very ugly way. Throughout history, there have always been women who were raped, who were abused, and regardless of what religion people were in, the women still suffered from this, even today. I just read it in this morning in statistics about how many few minutes in the United States a woman is raped. Every few minutes, like I think they said 5 minutes. It's happening right now in the United States. How about the rest of the world? What Islam is saying here is what's a limit. But you have to understand, before Islam came, they had no limits. These Arab people, these Bedouin people, had no limits. Just like in most of the world today, really there's no real limit on how many girlfriends you can have. Even here in Malaysia, which is a very religious place, it really is beautiful. But tell me what statute you have on the books that tells you how many girlfriends you can have. How many boyfriends can you have? Is there a law that if a girl and a boy are walking down the street holding hands right now, that they're going to go to jail? Saudi Arabia has it. They do. They don't allow it in public. But if a guy has a girlfriend and he can get away with it, he'll get away with it even over there. Even over there, they get away with it. What we're talking about with this instance, you need to really investigate what it talks about right hand possessed. What happens at the end of a war is that there are people there still when the war is over, because it's not like America where we go in and use a bomb to blast everybody away. You know, we solve the problem, you know, we get rid of everybody. But in those days, they used to only kill the warriors. Well, who's left? And so the women were treated horrible. You know, not to call them a slave would be nice compared to what things happened to those women. You don't want to know, because it became like, we're going to get revenge. Even after we killed the guy, we're going to do stuff to his children, to his women, to, you know, and they did it. And this is not permitted in Islam. The women were taken into custody, because where else would they go? Where are they going to go? You just wiped out all the men that were fighting anyway. So the women become custody of state. And they don't want to set up like an orphanage or something, or a women's shelter. They go to the men who are fighting. The men become responsible to feed, clothe, take care of them, but those women have to work for their keep, and that's what they are. Today you'd call them servants. But you had to treat them in a very special way. And that was never before. So what's happening actually is that there were limits set forth that were never there before in favor of these women who were actually the wives or daughters of the very people that were just killing you. And now you're giving them good service. Actually allowing them, that they could just come in, and some of them actually did it, and tried to kill the people who were taking care of them. But if you wanted, as a man, you wanted, oh, I don't have a wife, and I'm not able to get a wife, and it's in the Quran, what can I do? Well, these women, you can marry her if she's a believer. But she can't be a pagan anymore. If she's a pagan, you can't marry her, can you? No. But if he has intercourse with this lady and she does something wrong, she doesn't have the same punishment as a believer, does she? Do you remember that? Did you notice that was a reason? The things that are here, and I wish we had more time, and we're almost out of time, but the things that are in this subject are so big, and if you explore it, you'll find that this is something amazing, because it is, in fact, a chance for her to come to Islam, which is the best thing that could happen to anybody, and to be married to a Muslim who is going to care for her 100%. And all of that is also to help him and keep him away from getting in trouble. So it helps both sides. But you need to study it and realize that it's not about, owning, but going out and buying some people today. Let's go down to the store and buy a couple of people and, make some slaves. It was about releasing them. Because even then, he has to release her. She can't be a slave anymore. So Islam was encouraging to get away from this idea of slavery at the same time. So you go check it out. Do a lot of research before you ask a question, especially don't ask it like that.